Don't recognize my work? Have fun having no cake decorator during graduation season, by user Chayas Risingbook. Alright, so my little brother told me to post this here. I've been an assistant deli/bakery manager for plus 6 years. In those years we had Jill take over the previous manager's position through backstabbery and lies, a position that was supposed to go to me, but she had a friend in upper management get her transferred over. Jill never did any of the work, left things for me to do last minute, took 4-day weekends, intentionally missed orders to try and make me look bad, the whole 9 yards. I put up with it for years. Every time I brought it up with the management, they gave an excuse or sorta just brushed me off. The company has a union, so getting someone with even a year of seniority over you in trouble is almost impossible. I was doing more and more of the work, making sure orders went off on time, fixing ones she would forget or mess up, covering shifts, calling people to come in if she intentionally underscheduled us, training. A headache. During this time, I got married, which she tried to deny me my vacation time to do, and had a hectic schedule that my husband graciously understood. Dealt with it for another few years and just got so tired with everything, then the kicker came. I got pregnant with our first. I decided then and there that once I left for maternity, I wasn't going back. I did everything by the books, notified management and the union, scheduled doctor's visits and worked around my schedule, made sure that there was no possible way she could mess with me. Once I heard the due date, I grinned a maniacal smile deep in my soul. April, right before the busiest time for any deli/bakery. Graduation. When you're in a town with 3+ colleges and 4 high schools just in a 10-mile radius, you get a lot of orders to fill. I even had a reputation for color matching certain school colors and doing cakes last minute. On any given day for those months, they could have anywhere from 15 to 150 cakes going out in a weekend, Friday Sunday, and to make matters worse for them, I was the only cake decorator. I let them know that they had to get someone in and hired for me to train multiple times or else they would be in dire straits, especially since Jill didn't like decorating. They never listened, like always. So after 4 months, I stopped reminding them. I let it go. And it felt great. Then I decided to use one of my vacations during the week before delivery, good thing I did, the baby was ready anyways, and they still hadn't found a cake decorator. The day I delivered my baby, guess who finally got demoted? Jill had scheduled one of her 4-day weekends again, missed 3 supply orders, didn't cover my shift, and the icing on the cake? Left 19 cake orders unfulfilled for a Friday and did not let management know about them. When Friday morning came around and she wasn't there was a line of angry customers wondering where their cakes were. Upper store management was called in, people from 2 different departments who had some experience on cakes were pulling pre-made 1/4 sheets and randomly throwing sprinkled this way and that and giving out the cakes for free. Over $1,000 in products having to be given to customers, for free. Apparently this also happened on a day the district manager was set to come in and do a tour to make sure things were set up for graduation. Needless to say she was demoted and moved from the department the very day she came back into the store. She turned off her phone over the weekend so no one would disturb her. I only know this because they called me to see if I could come back for a day or 2 from my vacation to fix everything. They hadn't known I had the baby yet, just thought I was still heavily pregnant. I've now been 6 months as a STHM and cannot be happier without all of the stress from there. They still ask if I want my old job back when I grocery shop there, but I just smile and tell them no thank you. Although I do miss some of my co-workers, now I get to raise an amazing little boy and bake cakes for the fun of it now. Update, wow, I was not expecting any of this really. Thank you for the validation. Here is a few things to clear some things up for everyone. 1. Jill got demoted, she is now a produce clerk and is not allowed anywhere near the bakery deli and took a massive pay cut. 2. It did not cripple the whole store, it just made a department almost a living nightmare for management for the weekend. They now have their retired cake decorator in on weekends to do cakes until they can find someone else. 3. I had to take that unplanned vacation 2 weeks before my due date due to stress from the job that contributed to gestational hypertension. Baby came out alert and happy, heart rate got to 164/98 though. 4. Do I in no way, shape, or form blame the union or upper management for any of it. When 2 people are constantly issuing complaints to HR, the truth gets muddied. It did not help that the store went through 6 store managers while I was there and the union did what they could, especially when it came to her trying to mess with my vacations, paid holidays, and days off. Especially my wedding. 5. Doormat? No, I called her out on things all the time, which is why she was out to get me at any chance. I even had my staff stand up for me when I wasn't there, and she's tried to take credit for things I did. Paper trails were made, and I followed procedures for reporting things to the letter. 6. Did I intentionally leave innocent bystanders to have no cake? No, I warned management, they dragged their feet. I warned my customers, they chose to still go there. I did more than my fair share. Thank you all very much. Update 2, this is still going. Thanks for all the upvotes. And here's a little more. 1. I don't plan on opening a bakery anytime soon, there are 5 currently in my little town. 3. Baby is amazing and healthy, he's topping the charts in the 99th percentile all over. 4. I wish this story was made up, but it's not. I've left out numerous things on what she did that could have gotten her fired/demoted sooner if she didn't have someone backing her as long as she did. 5. She got multiple warnings, but by the time she would do another mistake, a new manager would come in, which made it last way longer than it should have. 6. My writing style? It's all my own, so sorry if it is difficult to read. English is my first language, and only, but everyone knows that the language is 5 multiple different languages in a trench coat pretending to be one. 6. One of the co-workers I had who is set to retire next year sent me messages about everything as it went down, realizing that the shared nightmare was finally coming to an end. Update 3. Some of you are asking about cakes and cake questions. I don't really know how to cross-post or everything, but I created a new Reddit thing called Cakes of A made with some photos on there for curiosity's sake. Coworker from hell tried to get me to give him a ride, so I blew out of the parking lot without him, by user Vamparcher. I had a coworker who one of the worst human beings I've ever met IRL. He was very misogynistic, calling all the women that worked there girl, demanding they do things for him while he did fuck all, constantly flirting with them regardless if they were single or showed any interest, and would scream profanities in their face if they didn't fall in line. Management dragged their feet doing anything, despite the constant issues and the fact they were aware the quality of his work was terrible. I'm not a woman, but many of my friends there were women, and when I seen him yell, "Hey, girl, go get me this, now," then pitch a fit like a toddler when they refused, it really pissed me off. I told people I worked with to tell him if they hit on them and wouldn't leave them alone because I can't stand that shit. I heard that he had no transportation and was pressuring people to take him home. One night, he told me he needed a ride home. It was midnight. Me, him, and the manager were the only people left at the end of the night. I told him I couldn't. He wouldn't listen. He followed me to my car anyway. I got in, locked the doors, and he started banging on my window like a psychopath, telling me I better fucking take him home. Keep in mind it was pitch black out in an empty parking lot with no security at midnight. He could have attacked me or jumped in and stole my car, and my odds of stopping him would have been slim. I put the car in reverse, backed out, and blew out of that lot. The manager left ahead of me, so he was left in that lot all alone. There is zero public transport and probably no Uber/Lyft either. The town I drive to for work is completely car dependent and so anti-public transport, sidewalks don't even exist. I didn't feel bad about it either. Your transportation is your problem. He's not a minor, he's 27 years old, he's a big boy who can figure out his business. You can believe he didn't ask me for a ride again or fuck with me. The aftermath: this happened months ago. Want to know how it ends? Turns out he was, indeed, a crazy person. A viral video of him came out showing him getting out of a car. A coworker who felt bad gave him a ride, in a fit of road rage and getting into a fist fight with another driver, right in the middle of a busy highway with hundreds of cars swerving trying not to hit him. He was clearly identifiable and people in the comments were using his legal name. Apparently that still wasn't enough to fire him. He rather anticlimactically, finally ran his mouth at the female general manager and she told him get the fuck out of my business and fired him on the spot. Believe me, that night, I had some shots in celebration. My job cut people's pay for getting tasks completed too fast, so everyone ran the clock, by user Vamparcher. I told this story on another sub a while back and people really enjoyed it, so I'll retell it here. For context, I am assigned a geographical zone and I must complete all tasks in that zone by their deadlines and complete the job within a time limit given. I make my own schedule, get paid mileage to locations, I clock in via GPS tracker to prove I am at said location. My supervisor existed, but he worked remote, never watching me directly, I worked independently. Each job we are assigned has a time limit. Problem is, we are usually given way too much time. Rarely do I get jobs that take multiple hours. I've been doing this for 6 years, most jobs they give me I can complete literally in less than 30 minutes, even 10 minutes, meanwhile they give me 2 hours to do it, because I know what I am doing. Our managers have always said it's fine to claim that we took the full time allotted for payroll purposes because hard workers getting paid less than people who don't do shit is unfair, and enforcing that will only make people run the clock. We deserve the same pay. And it does. We got new management and then they started enforcing it. We had to either take the full amount of time given or take the cut in our check. I started running the clock and my colleges in different cities told me they were too. I would go to a location, clock in, knock out the job, then bullshit. I'd go grocery shopping, get lunch, read a book, look at social media, anything, until clock out time. Because it's bullshit if it takes me only 25% of the time to complete something, I should get 25% of the pay other get. I did eventually quit. The company was a mess and I got sick of it, the job already sucked enough. They begged me to stay, believe it or not. I ghosted them. Delivery guy used anti-LGBT slur towards me. Now he gets to enjoy wasting time, money, and standing in the rain, by user pop-up clicker. I was recommended to post this here when sharing a bit of the story in another post. Necessary background. I am a bit gender non-conforming, meaning that I sometimes dress outside my birth gender. And while I think it is obvious to people which gender I was born into, and what I am trying to dress as, I don't dress in an offensive way, meaning I shouldn't come off as I bleach either, even if it is not your thing. I don't want to stuff things down people's throats, and mostly expect the same treatment as I give others. If you don't have anything nice to say about someone, don't say anything at all. The story. A few months back I was receiving a package from a delivery guy, and I was doing my thing, but decided to take the package anyways. It's a 2-second interaction, who cares? Delivery people must see everything, all the time. But during those 2 seconds of interaction, however, the delivery guy saw me, turned and clearly but with low voice spoke a slur against LGBT people. My first idea was to report him. But then again, what can I even prove? And what if he comes back? Petty revenge. So instead I realized that this particular delivery company uses a lot of the same drivers for the same area. They also happen to disclose the first name and initials of the driver before they arrive. I also know they are paid per successful delivery and not for delivery attempts. So now every time this guy shows up with a package, I happen to not be home. When it happens to rain, I happen to be on the balcony. I am on the 5th floor, looking down. Next time I might bring a margarita. He has to stand for several minutes because procedure dictates he has to try the doorbell twice. And he then has to try calling twice until voicemail. So naturally, I have extended the calling time before voicemail kicks in as well. Also I am in Northern Europe. Rain here can get very cold sometimes. As for not getting my things, my patience is directly proportional to his annoyance of wasting time. Also the company always do a reattempt the next day, and it happens so far to never be the same person 2 days in a row. Asterisk because it seems to really trigger someone. Correction, it is my clear understanding that the delivery people are independent courier drivers, who get paid for delivery only. Not attempts. But no, I can't and I won't try and prove it. Edit 2, I was wrong about the drivers not getting paid for unsuccessful delivery. Girl with perv at a bus stop, by user GrammaBear707. I was 19 and living on my own, but I couldn't afford a car, so I used public transportation, which was fine, but it meant having to transfer buses on the Nicollet Mall in Minneapolis. Only buses are allowed on this mall road and could be a bit sketchy and scary at night. One night I had left my mom after sitting with her at the hospital until it was pretty late. Obviously I had to take a bus to get home, which meant transferring at the mall. It was dead of night, so I was grateful to see the area appeared to be empty as I entered the lit-up plexiglass bus shelter to wait for my bus home. I kept alert of my surroundings, and it wasn't long before a man came striding down the mall. He walked tall and with purpose, so my heart was pounding with fear as he approached the glass window. Suddenly he whips his long coat open and exposed himself to me. I was scared to death, which for some reason made me giggle, so I glanced up at the man's face mid-laugh. Yup, that looks like a penis, only smaller. He yanked his coat shut, hunched over and actually ran away. I guess I didn't give him the fear reaction he was looking for.